What's up, Hammerhead Nation? I am getting a text message. I would get a text message as soon as I put my glove on. Anyway, what's up, Hammerhead Nation? Riding with your boy Jack Hammer today. I am in Loganville, Georgia. One of my brother's cars messed up. A Honda Accord starter went out on him, and he wanted me to come up here, just make sure he was doing it right. Never worked on a car a day in his life, but he watched the YouTube video, and he told me that he figured it out, had to figure it out. And he had the shit mostly done by the time I got here. Shout out to my brother, big bro. Man, it's a nice day. Cloudy, but it ain't raining, so I ain't complaining. Anyway, I'm gonna head back to the house. Today, what I want to talk about is my first bike. So, Motovlogic and I, a while back, we did a video for the first part of our series, which is called Hammered Logic, and we didn't get the audio for his video. We got the audio for mine, but we didn't get the audio for his because we did the Sena backpack link wrong. What I did was turned on my Sena, connected to my GoPro backpack, my Sena backpack, and then then Motovlogic connected to me. We should have connected to each other first, then connected to the Sena backpack. So, unfortunately, I have told some of this story before, but we didn't get the audio, so I didn't upload it. I'm going to talk about it now. So, I worked at a motorsport company, 2 of them, in fact, and I was in the bike scene really, really heavy, like a lot. And a lot of people used to come to me and it was like, yo, Jack, what kind of bike you think I should get, man? And they would look at me strange when I would tell them the bike you're going to keep. Like, get the bike you're going to keep. A lot of people disagree with me on that because I tell people, if you feel like you want to pay for the insurance on a Hayabusa or a ZX14 or a Gixxer 1000 or CDR 1000, get that bike and make that bike your bike, because any bike can kill you. It does not matter. That's the dude that was just at AutoZone with us in that Honda. Anyway, you gotta get the bike that you want to keep, because time and time again I see people literally go and buy a Ninja 300 or 250 or something like that, and then 3-4 months later they're like, man, I should have never bought this bike. I should have went ahead and got a 600. And I'm like, yeah, you should have. The reason I can confidently say that is because I started off myself on a CBR 1000 RR. It was a 2004. I was 16 years old. I was into cars. I've been into cars all my life, and I used to race cars. So my ex-girlfriend, she was my girlfriend at the time, she raced cars as well. Her dad had a CBR 1000 RR, and she had a Gixxer 750. And she was short. She was short as hell. She was like 5 feet even. If that. She might have been 4'11". She asked her dad to ride with her one day, and he just didn't have time to ever ride with her. He bought this bike with the intention of riding with her. He just never had time. So the bike had 26 miles on it when he told me, why don't you go ride with her? And I was like, well, I don't know how to ride a motorcycle. I've never ridden a motorcycle other than a dirt bike in my life. And then he was like, you can drive a 6-speed manual car. He told me to get the bike out of the garage, so I did. And then he told me to pull it over onto the grass and get on it. And then he told me to just get used to the weight. That was the first thing that he had me do, to get used to how heavy the bike was. And it was heavy. Like I said, this was an 04. He was like, okay, so in a car, you shift with your hand. On a motorcycle, you shift with your foot. And he showed me where the shifter was at. He said in a car, you clutch with your foot. On a motorcycle, you clutch with your hand. So it is the exact opposite. And that's what I said to him. He was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I got used to where all of the things were. The clutch, rear brake, front brake, the throttle, and shifted. I just learned where everything was, and I had to reprogram my mind. So about 10 minutes after just making sure that I was confident in my placement, that I knew where everything was supposed to be, I pulled it out onto the road, and I went down the street very nervous at like 15 miles an hour. But I did realize once I'm in motion, once I have momentum, I don't have to worry about the bike falling over. The bike wants to stay up. Like, you can let go of a motorcycle completely, and it doesn't just fall over. They're designed to stay up. Only when you lose momentum or slow down too much, that's when you make the mistake of dropping the bike. Most motorcycle accidents are low speed, usually in a driveway or on the street that you live on. Fortunately, that didn't happen to me. I almost dropped it when I tried to go to turn around, and then I put my foot down trying to hold the bike up, and it was a lot heavier than I thought it would be, so I strained the shit out of my arm trying to make sure this thing didn't hit the ground, because like I said, it had 26 miles on it. He rode it from the dealership to his house, and that was it. So anyway, that's how I learned how to ride a motorcycle. Let's skip forward 2 months. My buddy bought a trailer from a guy down in Miami. The girls got in the truck. He had a SRT-10 Dodge truck, and the girls got in the truck, and they followed us while we were on the motorcycle, and I rode 11 and a half hours from Gwinnett County, Georgia, all the way to Miami-Dade, Florida. And so that was my first experience on a motorcycle. What I understood in my mind that a lot of people start to take for granted after they're riding a motorcycle is the fact that the thing will kill you. The moment you disrespect the motorcycle or forget to do something or get complacent, that could be it for you. It's a wrap. It's over, you know. So I understood that. I knew that. Now, what I didn't know was what 1000 CBR stood for. I thought it was just a name, like the car in front of me is a Cadillac CTS. CTS would be the name. I didn't give a shit what that meant. I just knew that it had 2 less wheels and no doors. Nothing to protect me from hitting that pavement, and then I would die. So I was very cautious. I didn't speed like crazy. I never raced people on motorcycles because that, to me, asking for death. And I didn't, I would always wear my gear. Like here in Georgia, we have to wear a helmet. It's by law. We have to wear a helmet. But I choose to wear my jacket most of the time. I want to say like 95% of the time, I wear my jacket. Right now I have on my Icon Decay jacket. And I treat every day like that first day that I rode. You know, I'm a more cautious rider. Now, when I get around my friends, yeah, we might cut up a little bit, might speed up some. But as far as racing a motorcycle, somebody on it that I don't know, nah, ain't happening. So that's why I can confidently say, or comfortably say, get the bike that you are going to want to pay for. Get the bike that suits you. Get a bike that you like to ride. Because at the end of the day, Jack Hammer ain't riding your bike. Your homeboy ain't riding your bike. The dude who you talking to that's selling it to you, he ain't the one that's gonna buy it. He ain't gonna pay that insurance and he ain't gonna do none of that. So get a bike that you're comfortable on. If you feel like you can handle a CBR 1000 RR or a ZX10 or a Gixxer 1000 or fucking Panigale, whatever you wanna get that bike. Now, also, remember to calculate insurance into your monthly payments if that's what you're doing, or your life period. You know, I don't have the best driving record, and I'm 31 years old. But when I bought this bike, this 2012 Kawasaki V1000, I was also looking at 3 other bikes. At the time when I bought this bike, I had a 2008 Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R. This is a $599, not the 636. They didn't make a 636 in '08, not in the United States. I wanted something that was a little bit more comfortable, but still gave that oomph, that speed. Now, the guy that I bought the bike from, not this bike, the guy that I bought the '08 ZX6R from lived down in Warner Robins. And the reason that he was selling the bike is because he had got a speeding ticket for 109 in the 35 school zone. And so, yeah, he said he was going down the road, and it was early morning. He was just on the way to work, and he got on it, and these bikes instant torque. If you ride a torque monster like this, you'll understand. Like, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But he hit it and got off of it. And then he went on along his way. He stopped at a stop sign or a red light, and then he got lit up by blues. And he was like, where the fuck did this cop come from? And then he was like, if he clocked me, he went ahead and got off the bike because he knew if that cop clocked me, he's going to take me to jail. And the cop said that he did clock him, and he clocked him when he was coming down off the throttle. And that was at 109 in the 35 school zone. He said he was probably rolling off of like 55, 60. So this bike is like crazy. I think I'm in second gear, and like instant torque. Like you don't have to worry about what gear you're in on this bike. Like you'll get there. Anyway, back to my point. He got arrested, and he was selling his Z1000 and his ZX6R because his wife was pregnant, and he had to pay lawyers and go to court to make sure he could keep his license. And so I got a really, really, really good deal on the bike. When I was buying this bike, I was also looking at a 2012 ZX10, a 2015 Gixxer 1000RR, and a 2015 CBR 1000RR. Now, the insurance is what I buy on. For me, at that time in 2014, when I was 26, insurance for me on that ZX10 was $223 a month with my driving record. And I think that was State Farm. And I was like, man, that shit was more than the payment on the motorcycle. The motorcycle payment was like $140 a month. And I'm like looking at this shit like, wow, no, that doesn't work for me. So then I got an insurance quote from the exact same agent at the exact same time for this bike, and it was like $89 a month. Now, why the drastic change in numbers? The reason that there's a drastic change from ZX10R to Z1000, which the VIN code is a ZR1000 DCF, is because that bike is a super sport. This bike is a sport touring. This bike is actually more powerful than that bike, but that bike has a higher top speed than this. So the top speed on this one is around 150 to 160. I've been to the top speed on this bike. That's all I need. I don't need no more than that. So that's why I chose this bike. Plus, it's a ton of fun to ride this bike. It carves the curves like nobody's business. You know what I mean? So this bike fits me. I've had this bike since 2014. It has 3,800 miles on it, or 3,400 miles on it. That's why I tell people, get the bike that you're going to be comfortable with. Get the bike that you're going to learn to ride and treat it with respect. Don't get out there and be trying to be a speed demon in the first place. You know, that's why a lot of people tell people to start off on these smaller bikes, is because those smaller bikes like 250s and 300s, they don't do that much of a top speed. They can't go that fast. But it can still kill you, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day to me. So that's why I tell people to get the bike that they are going to learn to ride, that they're wanting to pay for, that they're going to pay for, and not be worried about upgrading in the next 3 or 4 months, because then you're going to be upside down. If you're making payments, you'll be upside down on your loan and shit, and you don't want to continue to accumulate debt. Also, my tip to people is get a bike that you don't mind dropping. Like, I've dropped this bike, 4 times, maybe 5? I can't even remember. But every time I had the means to fix the bike. If you're not a mechanic or a person like that, make friends with one. But if you got a friend or friends, or you yourself know how to work on a bike, it's so easy to fix them. They're getting more complicated, but that's just another challenge that you can jump over. If you're lazy, like me sometimes, outsource to people that are close to you. I go to Zach's Performance Shop or MegaWorks. Those are the only 2 places that I'm going to let work on my bike other than me. So, with that being said, be prepared to drop your bike, because in the beginning you just might. Also, take the MSF. Take the MSF course. It'll save you so much time, and it'll teach you so many things. Let me rattle off the name or the list of bikes that I've owned. My first bike, 2004 CBR 1000 RR. My second bike was a 97 Katana frame, a 97 Suzuki Katana frame with a Honda 945 engine on it. I literally had to Frankenstein this bike together. So let's fast forward to 2012. My third bike, which I say my first bike because it was my first legitimate bike that I paid for. So it was a 2006 Kawasaki ZX6R 636. I got it from Wild Motorsports in Marietta, Georgia. I got the down payment up, got the bike. I lived in Macon, Georgia at the time, so that was about an hour and a half from Marietta. I rode for the first time in a long time on the interstate since I went down to Florida, since I made that trip to Florida on the bike. And it was terrifying, but it was so exciting. That bike was stolen the day before my birthday in 2013. That's a story for another day. That shit was crazy. August 2013, I bought the bike that I named Envy. Now, the bike that was stolen in 2013, that bike's named Scarlet. Scarlet was stolen. That was the 636. And in the 08 ZX6R, I bought that bike. That bike's name was Envy because it was Envy Green. It was green, the Kawasaki Green. I bought that bike while I had this bike, which this bike's name is Phoenix. And now the Dark Phoenix. And those are all the bikes that I've owned. Just a quick little story about my first time being on bikes and my opinion on bikes. Whether you agree or disagree, leave it in the comments below. What inspired me to talk about my first bikes and all of that stuff was my boy Mr. 20 West. Go check his channel out. I really appreciate you checking out the channel. Follow me on Instagram, Jack_Hammer. From me to you, much love. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.